Waterways and the Cape Fear River are vital to North Carolina for economic drivers. What is the federal government's role in funding beach and waterway and port dredging projects so that they can all continue to be economic drivers in this state?
John, that plays a big role in the economy of our state. And we just passed the WRDA bill, and actually in that bill there is funding to be sure our inlets are dredged in order for the port at Wilmington to work. We've got to be sure the port's deep enough, and at the same time beach renourishment on the beaches near it are not adversely affected. In the last 5 years since I've been in office, $500 million has come to the state of North Carolina for beach renourishment, for inlet dredging, but also for hurricane reclamation and work. And just recently another $19.5 million for the Oregon Inlet and other inlets around North Carolina so that commerce can continue. If we look at our state in North Carolina, tourism and agriculture are the two biggest economic drivers in our state. And that's why it is imperative that we have flood insurance premiums that are affordable so that people can continue living and working on the coast, but in particular to be sure that our beaches continue to be the economic sustaining factor in North Carolina.
Speaker Tillis, 60 seconds, sir, your answer.
Well, this is something that we've taken action on. We've actually created a source of funding to help the coastal areas with dredging because the federal government's coming up short. Every year they come up short. Every year we have to, in the budget, we have to add a little bit more to actually cover it. But let me tell you what's really hurting coastal North Carolina and agriculture, as Senator Hagan alluded to. Regulatory overreach. The EPA is out of control. Senator Hagan supports regulations that could take effect as early as next year that could increase annual household expenses related to energy by $1,200 a year. The EPA now has gotten to the point to where they're regulating the content of mud puddles. They're also regulating what you can do along the coast and making it more difficult to dredge and more difficult to replenish the beaches. It's just another example of a policy that President Obama likes. Therefore, Senator Hagan likes it. It's a policy we got to claw back so that we can get the beaches. This is an economic engine in our state. The reason I supported those policies is because I know that we've got to keep the beaches well replenished, and we've got to keep our inlets dredged.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Haugh, your answer, sir. 60 seconds.
Well, at the risk of getting a little bit of brickbats from my libertarian base here, I do agree that some of these basic things that we're talking about are the business of the federal and the state government in terms of making sure that the ports are dredged and that these kinds of general things where government has control of these areas, we need to take care of them. Now, one thing about it that does bother me, though, Senator Hagan mentioned flood insurance premiums and help for that. We don't need to subsidize people's risk, because if we do that, then people are going to go out and take those risks where they might actually cause damage. I think if for people who want to move here and start living on the beach, they should be able to pay the full freight of all of the liability that that might be faced instead of being subsidized to move so many people here that the environment becomes unsustainable.
Thank you, sir. Senator Hagan, your response, ma'am, 30 seconds.
As I've stated, I think the beaches, our inlets, are very important economic drivers. And Speaker Tillis is throwing out a lot of numbers here and a lot of different quotes. People in eastern North Carolina on the coast know that I am their main advocate. They know that I will fight to be sure to do what's right. Just recently, the 50-year expiration of some of the beaches are expiring. I've got legislation in to be sure that our beaches will remain available to receive funding for beach renourishment. They know that I am their key advocate, and I will continue to be so.
Thank you. Speaker Tillis, your response, sir. 30 seconds.
If the President and Senator Hagan have their way, we will regulate ourselves out of a lot of beach access. Senator Hagan supports the EPA's overreach, and it's become ridiculous. The environmental standards that they're trying to impose on farmers in terms of what we can do to replenish the beaches. Go talk to the people, go talk to the town people and the county commissioners who are having to deal with this. They're not saying a lot of positive things about Washington. They're saying that Washington's broke and they need help, and that's why we've intervened and provided relief at the state level, because this is one of our economic engines that we have to protect.
Thank you. Mr. Haugh, your response, sir. 30 seconds.
Well, I have a video on my YouTube channel and my website called On Pollution, which addresses a lot of these issues that we've talked about right now. The problem is this one-stop shopping of having the EPA, in this case, having total control over a lot of these issues, and that allows a lot of corporate special interests to come in and set the regulations the way that they want, where instead if they had to take full responsibility for any kinds of problems that they might be causing environmentally and pay for any victims of any damage that they cause, well, then maybe they'd be a little bit less likely to do things that are going to cause problems for people.
Thank you, sir. Speaker Tillis, your response first to the next question, sir. President Obama in June reopened waters off the East Coast.